And good evening, good evening. Welcome again to Ginsomnia Nights. And for once again, I am M. Jack Pacheco, your host, and my co-hosts for tonight are Enzo Angeles and Matthew Palayo.
Hello.
Sup, bros?
And for tonight's guests, we have Mr. Omar Tawfek. Hello.
What's up,
Hello,
Omar?
hello. What's up,
Uh,
guys?
Hi.
How's it
Omar,
going, Omar?
would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, the hardest question ever.
First day of class, kunwari. Ganun.
Uh,
Oo nga eh. Parang tatayo ka pa sa chair,
Oo.
no?
so,
Hindi,
age, ID number, course.
hindi naman to job interview, so huwag kang mag-alala.
One interesting
Sige.
fact about yourself.
Just parang just introduce
Mga
yourself to
ganun.
the audience.
Okay, so I'm Omar, and I'm a game developer, but now I make coffee. So I've been taught how to make coffee and learn more about coffee from a nice group of friends in Quezon City called MA+D, Manila.
Shoutouts to Matt.
But
Yeah, shout out to
yeah,
MA+D.
but isn't that like somehow a big turn from game design to game development to making coffee? What's that about? You wanna tell us
Oh,
how that
yeah.
happened?
Well, I actually don't know how it really happened. So, bumisita lang ako sa kaibigan ko. Sabi niya sa akin, kape ka. Sabi ko, I'm acidic. Sabi niya na, no, just try this, believe in me. So I tried it. Okay naman. Hindi ako naging acidic. So I drank another cup.
Naging
Tapos
acidic.
pag uwi, hindi ako naging acidic eh.
Oo.
Was that
Tapos pag
friend
uwi ko,
Jack Pacheco?
hindi.
No man. By that time I was still drinking beer yata.
Yeah. So by then when I went home, I stayed for more than 15 hours still awake. So I just decided to work on my project.
15 hours.
Pero yeah, studied pa ako nun eh.
God
Pero
damn.
I got interested about the coffee, so I decided to ask them about it. And yeah, I went inside a very big or a very deep rabbit hole.
We've
I
all
can
been there.
imagine. I can imagine.
Rabbit holes, man.
So how
Rabbit
is
holes.
everything going now that you've do you somehow balance that making coffee and game development still, or what?
Well, game development for me was always started as a hobby back in college. And when I transferred to game development as a course, I really want to understand how it works. And since you're a kid, you always played games and want to
Yeah.
understand how it works, how to make games. If you want to have a story and you like to see it on the computer, so I decided, why not make games?
Mm-hmm.
So the game industry in the Philippines naman, it was starting thanks to CSB when they made the first course in the whole country,
Oo nga.
the game development
So,
back in
so
2009.
CSB yung first batch. I
It
mean,
was
may course lang na
2009.
ganun, no?
Yeah.
Oo.
Shoutouts to
Like,
So
CSB.
2009 ka pala nag-transfer.
Let's go, Blazers.
Blaze it up, baby.
well, the amazing of Blazers naman talaga. Pero hindi, 2009 nagsimula. Pero 2012 ako talaga nag-transfer.
Tapos dati di LSU
So,
ka pa, no?
yeah.
So
Sa
2009. That's like,
Math
whoa,
you can't
okay.
even do in 3 seconds.
Mhm.
But how is life back then in Taft compared to now?
Laki ng difference. GT was still under construction, wala pa yung Torre Lorenzo 2, wala pa yung
Hindi pa
Manres,
maraming condo noon.
Yeah.
wala pa.
Oo.
how was the Happy
Yung
Thursdays? Happy Thursdays
Oo nga.
before.
Take us back to
uh,
those times.
well, Happy Thursdays was Plato was not that famous.
Oh,
Sherwood had some weird stuff going on.
Weird
like,
stuff.
oh,
Like
do tell.
weirder than
Share
the
naman, ano yung mga weird stuff na yan?
Yung mga second floor na may pole dancing sa
Ay, nice.
What?
Grabe Within school vicinity Taray.
Oh,
Galing.
Marindenise.
So may patay sindi,
Isang bar
ganun.
pa at Kingston.
Ang saya
Yung
naman.
epic talaga was GP naman eh. GP back beside Rizon. Green Place.
Green Place, yeah.
Yun. So, Green Place and beach. So, kung ayaw mo sa beach, punta ng Green Place. People will prefer Green Place before than beach.
Grabe, sobrang OG mo pala, Omar. The originals pala to eh.
Di naman.
So how,
But it was nice days naman. Kami-kami lang naman sa sa Happy Thursdays. It was still called Happy Thursdays pa.
kaya yata nag-invento nun eh.
Kayo ba umimbento na Happy Thursdays?
Hindi. Matagal talaga yung Happy Thursdays. Pero it was around 2010 ata 2011.
Di ba kaya siya
Simula
tinawag
maging
na Happy Thursday? Kasi pag sa DLSU, walang pasok kapag Friday.
Oo.
Oo. Yun yung
So,
Dahil doon.
doon, di ba?
Tapos may event dati 2010.
Unite.
Hindi.
Bulok naman yung Unite kadiri ang wala. Never
Walang kwento yun.
never akong pumunta doon. Kayo ba?
We.
Hindi ka pumunta doon tapos sumayaw ng Are You Gonna Stay the Night?
CSB life credit, pare.
Well, bulok yun, gago. Mga school events, bullshit yan. Alam mo yun?
Kumanta pa nga si Bamboo tsaka si Rita.
Proud ako sabihin sa sarili ko na never akong umattend ng isang UAAP or hindi pala, NCAA game ng Benil. Tapos,
We.
'di ba? Wala akong pake dyan, gago. For someone na student leader before, no, gago.
Actually.
Magaling naman yung Blazers natin.
Oo, magaling naman. Support lang, pero like, I don't know. Hindi lang ako nakakatamad
magaling
lang
naman
pumunta.
sila.
Kasi ang layo nung
Yeah.
yung Phil Oil Arena sa San Juan.
Uy, sa Rizal Stadium lang kaya, most of the time.
Hindi, yung time, yung frost ako,
Yung
ano
basketball ata.
yung, ano ba yung sa babae, ata, basta yun. See, I don't know sports. What the fuck is sports, man?
Volleyball.
Si sino ba yung babae? Hindi ko na alam eh. I'm not,
Pero yeah,
sports
the
guy.
athletes of Benilde are really great. I mean, they bring honor to our school.
Yeah, and tsaka sila yung parang they really have to do hard work kasi sila yung mga scholars.
Oo,
Yeah.
sobra.
As in, they really have to have a good standing sa grades, tapos meron pang athlete life.
Shout out to our Benildian scholar athletes.
Mustabay.
You the man.
Pero how was it naman daw na parang it seemed kasi na pinagdaanan mo lahat ng nangyari sa Taft. So,
Well, nakita ko naman.
kumusta naman yung progression from those days to now actually?
Wala, si mas matahimik dati. Compare sa ngayon.
Oh,
Pero-
so it's a lot wilder now.
Oo. Pero mas maganda naman siya ngayon. I would say,
How can you say that?
marami. Well, dati mahirapan ka maghanap ng place to stay talaga na, for dorms or renting.
Ganun ka
Sobrang
ba
dami
sa
ng condos.
college before? You live near school? Or uwian ka?
Hindi. Uwi yan.
Ah.
Marikina pa ako nun.
Shit!
God
So, LRT1,
damn,
LRT2.
Omar.
Hassle.
LRT2 tapos LRT1.
Wala pang Uber at Grab
Oo.
nun, no?
Wala pa.
Hindi naman, may jeep naman.
Tapos pag na-late ka, bayaran ko dating time yan, 250.
Saan?
Is that 250 pesos, 250 or 2.50?
Pare kung 2.50 mo, I think it would be 1960s by then.
And then,
Nakaya mo yun, no? Uwian palagi.
Pero oo, kaya mas maganda dati yung Happy Thursday namin. Kasi nagsisimula kami 5 p.m.
Oo.
Tapos by 9. Kasi
Uwi na.
sobrang lasing.
By
Nakakasakay ka pa sa
Buka-
LRT noon.
Oo.
Yes.
Yung last
Hindi
train,
ka
hinabol
hindi ka
namin.
nahuli. Di ba? Pag nangangamoy ka, minsan hindi ka pinapapasok.
Hindi, nahuli na ako na.
Oh, anong nangyari?
Sumuka pa ako sa loob ng LRT.
Oh!
lahat naman yata tayo siguro ginawa na yun di ba?
Hindi
Ay,
pa dyan.
wow, kadiri Sorry
Nagawa ko na rin yun eh.
Kadiri. Parang, kung magsusuka ka man lang, sa may labas naman ng tren, di ba? Wag naman sa loob.
Yeah, nagawa ko na rin yun sa labas ng tren, sa may station.
Oo. Kadiri nun.
Anong station, Omar, yung
Parang
nagsuka ka?
Yampal
Naalala mo ba?
Gilmore ata.
Malapit. Gilmore. Okay. Malayo pa sa sa Santolan.
Malayo pa nun.
Well, if you gotta go, you gotta go.
Oh, kinigising pa ako nun. Sabi, saan ka? Sabi ko dyan, malapit lang.
Malapit lang.
Oh. Yeah, those were nice days.
Nice.
Please,
Yeah.
wag niyo po gawin. Sama talaga ang feeling.
Oo. I mean, parang ang saya lang ng mga experiences na yun ikwento. Pero kapag ayaw mo na siyang ulitin.
It's funny now, pero siguro like back then,
Yeah.
sobrang embarrassing.
Parang it's
Yeah.
embarrassing, it's funny, it's like a great story to tell. Pero like, to actually go through it, parang, no man.
Pero actually, out of curiosity lang naman, back in those days, were you already aware of this big Korean guy named Moses?
Ooh.
Moses. Hindi, actually, I knew Moses when I first met some of people from film back in Sandehas. I think that was 2017 pa na.
Yes, Sandehas. Nice.
Sandehas.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Sandehas.
Primos, man.
Primos talaga
yung Sandehas yung name ng street.
Yeah, no one calls it Primos, man.
Pero I mean, wala lang, just for the sake of diba? Like
Mga taga Delisio lang tumatawag ng Primos doon eh.
Taga saan?
Taga Delisio.
Ano 'yun?
Anong delisyo?
Yung mga
Yung restaurant ata doon.
DLSU, mga Delicious.
Delisyo. Funny yun, Jack, ha? Sige. Bigyan kita doon. Napaisip
Shout
ako
out
dun sa joke
mga
na yun.
delicious.
Shout out sa mga delicious dyan. Delicious green archers. Oh,
Pero how is it naman daw Omar, how is it naman daw adapting to the Philippines? For my understanding, 'di ba sabi mo, half your life you grew up in Egypt and then you grew up in the Philippines.
oh yeah.
Egypt, huh?
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was the life there?
Life in Egypt is a bit different back then naman.
Yeah.
So, well, of course, the most important one was coming from the desert to going to a country that is full of greens everywhere. So that was new for me.
For sure. Full of greens everywhere.
Yeah.
Desierto ba talaga sa Egypt lahat?
Well,
Oo.
yeah. For the most part.
Puro sands. Except by the Nile. Well, even by the Nile.
So,
may sand
mainit na
naman doon.
mainit talaga.
Depende. Malamig na
may
malamig.
winter
na
may
malamig
winter
pa rin.
naman
So
pagka,
ano din? Ano yung pinakamalamig doon?
Extremes
Para
siguro.
mas malamig pa sa Baguio, gano'n.
Of course, man.
Actually, oo. Medyo mas malamig.
Hindi pa
kaysa
ako
Manila.
nakakapunta doon, kaya ako nga tinatanong eh. Ganun.
Hindi ka naman yung guest, Jack. Huwag ka naman
Oo.
i-answer yung questions namin.
Kaya
ba?
Sorry.
hayaan mo si Omar mag-share. Kasi wala, alam mo yun, parang yun lang yung idea ko sa Egypt, desert. So parang iisipin ko na mainit lang doon. So nagkaka-winter din pala doon.
Yeah, solid.
So, isipin mo parang Baguio pero nasa Metro Manila ka.
Dry yung heat,
So,
gano'n.
Oo, so sabihin natin yung init ng Manila pag summer, yun mas mainit pa doon. Since sobrang init na pwede ka talaga magluto ng itlog sa taas ng
Sa kotse. Gano'n.
Yung
Oo,
ganun.
grabe. Nagawa nyo na
Pero
yun.
'di ba Pero 'di ba
totoo
that
talaga.
type of heat is parang dry heat talaga kasi hindi siya kasing humid ng Manila.
Hindi, ang baba ng humidity back then. Pero yung temperature,
So it's
maabot naman siya around 45 Celsius.
Wow.
45
50
degrees Celsius.
Kasi it's all
Shit.
desert around you so parang na-amplify lang yung heat, 'di ba?
Oo. Yung pinaka-epic talaga yung sandstorms every April eh.
Yeah.
Change of weather.
I love
Sandstorm.
sandstorms.
Galing lamig, kapunta 18.
What do you guys do
Sandstorms?
to like protect
Ano yung
yourselves?
sandstorm? As in, parang,
Alam mo yung
ewan-
parang alam mo sa Mission Impossible yung kay Tom Cruise sa
Oo.
Dubai ata.
Yeah.
Tapos bigla may malaking sand cloud na dumating sa likod niya habang tumatakbo.
Oo. Ganon?
Tapos, ganun siya.
Oh my God. So parang normal
alam
lang na nangyayari yun doon. Parang okay, may sandstorm.
It's a casual thing.
Oo, okay
Oh,
guys.
Class suspended.
Parang welcome, sandstorm ulit. Okay, sa loob ka ng bahay,
Oo.
close mo yung mga windows, make sure, tapos mag-mask ka,
Oo.
tapos every 2 hours, 3 hours, mag-spray ka para bumaba na yung sand sa air sa loob ng kwarto.
Oh,
Ganun.
yeah, pumapasok yun talaga. Liliit
Mm.
ng sand eh. Papasok talaga yun sa loob ng bahay.
Oo. Tapos wala ka talaga makita sa harap mo. masyado.
Zero visibility.
Zero
diba?
visibility.
Oo, may
I
chances
miss
talaga
that, I
na
miss
zero
that.
visibility.
Shit, ayaw ko maka-experience nun.
Well, medyo nakaka-enjoy
Sobrang
siya.
sobrang
In a
GG mo
sense.
naman kapag like alam mo yun, yung kailangan mo talaga, let's say nasa labas ka, sobrang layo
Oo.
pa ng place.
Diba?
no?
Parang nagda-drive ka tapos, shit! Paano to?
Yun nga, may time talaga nangyari yan. Pauwi ako
Oo.
galing school. noon.
Tapos,
Tapos, sobrang layo, may nakita kong isang linya ng yellow. As in yellow siya, sobrang yellow.
Mm-mm.
So, habang naglalakad, tinitignan ko. Tapos wala pang isang minute, parang lumalaki na yung yellow na yan.
Oh, damn.
oh,
Parang, it took me like 3
pelikula talaga
minutes.
eh.
You mean like
Grabe.
Tumigil ako
you mean like yellow in
Oh.
the horizon?
Yeah, on the horizon may yellow na
Yeah.
pataas.
Anong oras
May parang
nangyari
contrast.
yun? Anong oras?
2 p.m.
Mm.
So, medyo maliwanag
So,
pa, gano'n.
And then,
Sobrang liwanag. So, isipin mo parang walang clouds. Ang blue ng sky.
Yeah.
Tapos bigla may crayon ka ng yellow sa gitna ng
Damn.
Yikes.
Apocalypse
Oo, so-
talaga, grabe.
god damn.
So yun, so isipin mo parang nagpanik na ako. So tumigil ako ng taxi para umuwi. So 10 minutes later nasa bahay na ako. Ayun, sa harap-harap ko yung sandstorm. Ganun kabilis.
So, hindi mo naabot, hindi, as in like, parang, ano siya, parang, hinahabol ka ng sandstorm, basically.
Oo.
Di ba lahat naman tayo nahabol ng sandstorm at some point in our lives?
We, ikaw lang ata yun dyan. Di ba ako
Baka
na-
kayo lang ni Omar.
Oo, parang kayo lang yun. Kasi
Depende.
never pa kaming naka-experience doon.
Anyway, so how was it though? Parang transitioning from Egypt to the Philippines. Like, kumusta naman?
Mahirap sa una kasi hindi ko talaga alam yung language ng una. Hindi ako marunong
Oo
Tagalog.
nga pala, no? You didn't know how to speak
How
Tagalog.
old were you ba? How old were you
Ah.
when you got here?
16.
16.
And then,
So, ayun, natuto na ako sa school. Natuto ako sa mga kaibigan ko, mga kaklase ko. Na nagtatagalog sila. Tapos, syempre, sa una, pinagtripan nila ako. Alam mo yung
Typical, yeah.
nakikinig ako. So, nakikinig ako. Tapos, habang tumatawa sila, tumatawa din ako kahit hindi ko maintindihan.
Oo.
I know the
Para,
feeling.
para lang, alam mo, parang just to be in.
Yung pala ikaw yung
Tapos
pinagtitripan
magtatanong
mo.
sila. Oo, mga ganun. Tapos,
Pero I mean now, okay na
matu-
yung Tagalog mo ngayon, Like, ang galing. Parang I wouldn't know na you came from another country.
Yeah?
Yeah, natuto na ako. Ang dami naman nagtuturo sa akin nun. Hirap din. Tapos sa school, ilang beses ako bumaksak na yung Philip 13. Kaya,
Oh. Really?
Kaya yun,
Di ba
medyo alam ka na.
hindi ka ba nag-take nung yung special class for like foreigners? May ganun, di ba?
may ganun, pero hindi ko alam na pwede.
Sayang.
Actually.
Ganun ginawa ni Moses dati
Tapos-
Alam ko.
Bakit mo alam?
Siyempre, sinabi niya sa akin, di ba?
But
Nalaman ko na may pwede namang special ng
Special.
isang kaibigan ko eh.
Yeah.
Sabi niya may Philip 13. So sabi ko kasi sabay tayo. May generate ako mag-enroll. Saan niya pala yung special. So sabi ko, yes, next term na ulit ako.
But how was it though in terms of, I guess, adapting to certain cultures, traditions, and mores in the Philippines?
Well, it took time. Dati conservative naman ako. Sobrang conservative. Hindi ako uminom. Hindi ako gumigimik. Alam mo, mga ganun.
Yeah, but was drinking prohibited in Egypt as well?
Yeah, was it a lot stricter there or like more
Not really.
Yeah, kasi diba there are Middle Eastern countries who disallow drinking totally.
Yeah, pero
Like Saudi
Egypt
Arabia.
naman is, hindi. Well, Saudi Arabia medyo extremist naman talaga.
Yeah, I know.
Yung sa amin naman, we're open. Like drinking is open. Uh, a lot of other stuff is open, you know. Smoking some illegal stuff is open.
Oh.
Ooh.
So it's open. That's nice.
Yeah. So it's nice to be there naman if you want to do some crazy stuff, you know. It's like we have like one city by the Red Sea.
Mm.
It used to have one of the top 25 clubs in the world.
Wow.
Wow.
Right?
By the Red Sea,
Yeah,
I would like to experience that.
yeah. As soon as we are able to travel again naman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
COVID
But I mean, in
sucks.
terms of, countries, which would you prefer though? Like the Philippines or Egypt?
Well, I prefer the Philippines. For me, I don't see the fun anymore of just trying to go and see sand everywhere, you know. Nakakasawa din sila.
Tapos you lived like almost a year and a half in Siargao, puro sand everywhere then, di ba?
Well, iba naman yung Siargao. Alam mo, parang you have sand, you have the beach in front of you, so too big. You have people surfing.
Yeah,
You
well,
have,
actually.
you know, foreigners in bikinis going around. Uh,
And
Hey.
hindi uso yun
you
sa
know,
Egypt no, yung mga foreigners in bikinis all around.
Magbibikini
hindi
ka
talaga
sa
uso.
ano.
Hindi
Yeah, it's
talaga
haram.
uso yun.
Magbibikini.
It's haram.
Hindi naman. Hindi naman sa haram. Hindi talaga siya uso.
Yeah, kasi medyo conservative pa rin ang Egypt right now, di ba?
Yeah, they're still conservative.
From what I
It's
understand,
like,
parang somehow yung level of development nila is somewhat comparable to Cuba, di ba? Tama ba?
hindi naman. Like, ang conservative naman dun is it comes to women.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. It comes with Middle Eastern countries na naman eh.
yeah.
Kasi when I was there, when I went
So,
to Egypt, kasi parang I noticed yung mga cars, they're still driving cars from the 90s, from the 80s, and traditions din, parang magalang din, magalang.
yeah. Pero it's not that it's made by let's say, the country forced them to do it. Hindi naman. Mas mura talaga yung mga 90s cars kumpara sa mga cars ngayon. Everyone loves to do manual. We have this toxic masculinity na kung nag-drive ka naman ng matic, hindi ka naman lalaki. You know?
Actually.
Oo, so,
Babaw nun, no? Grabe.
Well,
Nilalagyan ng gender yung yung
dude,
transmission ng
hindi
sasakyan.
naman sa mababaw, pero kasi, 'di ba,
Sorry.
the point is parang ikaw yung lalaki, you have to drive for the woman.
It's not really about the woman, man. It's
Diba-
about the car, though.
No, I mean,
yeah.
pero 'di ba, Omar,
Oh,
it's
what the
like
hell,
that
man?
kasi, 'di ba?
Hindi, kasi pati mga babae nagda-drive naman sila doon.
Oo nga.
Ay,
Pero nag-manual din sila. Para sabihin natin mas matapang sila sa mga lalaki. Yeah,
di ba,
may
ano ba yung,
stuff like that.
sorry.
Ano ba yung ano?
Di ba,
Yung,
naub lang ako. No, I mean, ewan ko, gusto ko yung sinabi ni Omar na grabe, pati yun nga, yung ganun. Kasi narinig ko din yan. Kasi yung kuya ko din, he has a lot of like friends na may mga ganyan sa cars. Tapos parang halata nga yung toxic masculinity nila when it comes to...
Would you dub it toxic masculinity though, Omar? Kasi 'di ba, all these young people, these branded millennials call it toxic masculinity, but how would you call it? I
well,
suppose.
I'm millennial also, like, we're all millennials here.
Yeah, Jack.
Pero,
Exactly.
No, I mean, when I say millennial, I mean
si
the
Jack kasi
younger
hindi mahilig
people.
sa labels eh. So,
Yeah.
pagbigyan mo na.
okay.
No, I mean,
Alam
I'm
si
just
Jack.
speaking in terms of, the people
Hipster!
who... Okay.
Pero hindi, it becomes toxic masculinity when you have gender related to it. Like, why? Hindi naman sa maging totoong lalaki ka kung manual. It's
Actually, we have a mutual friend na sinabi niya sa akin once upon a time na parang about tattooing, about tattoos. Parang sinabi niya, di ka tunay na lalaki pag wala kang tattoo eh. Parang, di ba, ganong level yung toxic masculinity. Pero like, parang,
Yeah, tapos bigla sabihin sa'yo, oh may kotse ha. Tapos sabihin sa'yo na manual or automatic. Pag sabi mo automatic, sabihin, hindi ka naman tunay lalaki.
Diba?
That's
Parang gusto mo parang pag sinabi sa'yo yan, sabihin mo bakit ikaw may tie ka sa puwet.
what?
Diba? Yun naman TNL dati.
Nice
Diba?
analogy, oo.
It's kind of mababaw nga. It's kind of shallow, I
Yung
suppose.
Yeah,
ganyan
pero,
mang
you know,
asar yung mga
back in the
sa high
days-
school, 'di ba? May tayo sa point.
Oo.
Pinagrita ka ni teacher, noisy ka.
Nag-drive ng manual, bayot, ganun, 'di ba?
Oo.
Bayot.
What's bayot?
Ay,
Bakla.
Ah,
In Cebuano,
bakla.
in Bisaya.
Okay, I did not know that. Something I learned
Wow.
today.
Word of the day, bayot.
Bayot.
Use it
Shoutout
in
pala sa
a
mga bayot natin.
Use it in a sentence. Si Matt ay isang bayot.
Kaya ako uminom ng antibiotic, pero nandun pa rin siya.
Ha,
Ano?
well. Paki-edit out na lang po 'yon. Salamat.
Okay,
Oo,
sorry.
please. Shoutout sa director namin na si Andrea na mag-edit nito. I-cut nyo lang po yung part na yon.
No, pero anyway, and do you have any other hardships that you would like to add to the table? Siguro I'm just asking lang naman kasi parehas din naman tayo na we both came from a Middle Eastern country na. Siguro 16 din ako, 17 actually when I went to the Philippines.
Well, I would say the hardship was more of understanding the culture. Kasi sabihin natin sa Middle East, lahat matapang, lahat malakas boses, lahat magsisigawan. Basta walang reason. Tapos,
Nagsisigawan.
ay, parang ang hilig talaga sila makipag-away. Yung dumating ako dito, hindi naman sila yung time na yan, hindi mahilig mag face-to-face confrontation, yung eye-to-eye contact, madaming mahiya. So, nahirapan ako ng una maintindihan kung ano ba talaga. Sabihin natin, kung mag-usap sa tao, sabihin sa akin, ang sobrang aggressive ko naman magsalita.
Pero
Yung
it's
ganon.
parang intonation lang naman in the manner of you speak, diba? From the language.
Oo nga, pero mahirap naman talaga kasi kung gusto mong mag-inquire about something, tapos sabihin sa'yo, ayaw ka niya usapin, di ba kasi takot sila, mahirap, medyo yan.
Did you have those parang na-judge ka from your looks na, okay, mahirap kausap to kasi looks like a foreigner?
Hindi naman. Kung random people, hindi naman. Mga ibang friendly. Example ngayon, marunong naman ako mag-Tagalog. So, kausap ka naman sila sa Tagalog. Magiging maggulat sila kasi akala nila mag-English.
I wanted
Meron
to
din
ask,
iba
Omar,
kausap.
have you ever felt discriminated before since you were from another
Actually.
Well, yes, meron naman. Meron naman talaga.
In what manner?
Yung maglalakad ka lang sabihin sa'yo, 5'6".
Oh, okay. Gets.
Grabe. Which is, di ba
Oo.
sa Indian, yun, yung stereotype na yun.
Oo, pero medyo may
Inaalay nila sa
similar.
lahat ng
Yeah.
Middle
Everybody
Eastern.
But still, it's still a stereotype though. Like parang,
Yeah.
It is still a stereotype.
if you're like foreign looking, 5'6", okay.
Oo, tapos sabihin natin iba, akala nila mayaman ka kasi foreigner ka.
Yeah, I hate that
Pero
misconception.
dukha ka lang
actually.
talaga.
Oo. Medyo nakainis yan, pero sabihin sa'yo, they want to be close to you kasi akala nila mapera ka kasi foreigner ka.
Yeah.
But amidst all of that, how did you garner certain friendships in school, in college, and in the Philippines in general?
Nung high school naman, syempre it was through interacting with them sa classmates, mga ganun. So, I made this as an effort to learn the language. So, kahit sabihin natin dati, sinasabi niya, burok ng Tagalog.
Barok.
Burok ng Tagalog. So, I still decided to speak. We start to make friends with them. I would say be a bit funny Not even if it's not by words, action. Sabihin natin, matulog ka lang sa klase, hindi mo alam paano yung sagot, tumba ka na lang, just be funny. By actions like that. Para they'll be more close to you naman.
Yeah.
Mag-open sila sa'yo.
Gets.
Let's say that was in high school, of course. On college naman, I was able now to speak the language, so it became easier. Pero thankfully, the college was mixed of lots of people from different area, different locations, different countries. Kaya it was more easier to make friends. Actually, mas close pa ako sa mga college friends ko kaysa high school friends.
Same.
Same din. I mean, I like college more than high school. High school sucked for me, man.
Some people, for them, high school was better. For me, some was college was better. Pero
I
for
feel
me
like yung mga
naman-
people na na sinasabi nilang high school yung the best, sila yung mga nung high school talaga.
Oo.
You
Pero I
agree?
think that there's a certain time in our lives now we still reminisce or look back into those times. Oh, high school was the best. Like, given enough time, you're still, kumbaga magsasawa ka lang about reminiscing na, okay, college was the best. Tapos parang, after 10 years, oh yeah, 20s was my best, 30s
Well,
was
in the
my
future,
best.
I feel like college lang babalikan ko palagi dahil sa inyo. Oo.
No.
Oh,
No.
dapat may,
You
dapat may reunion tayo dyan. Mag-host si Bro Den.
Reunion ang putaga. Palagi tayo nagkikita gan.
Like, official reunion sa CSB, ganon. Tapos may dancing and shit.
Walang
may
pupunta.
may sangria.
Sinasabi ko sa'yo, walang pupunta dyan.
May Game of Thrones flashback. This was the in thing back in our day.
Sobrang Game of Thrones back days.
Really?
Yeah.
How would you say so?
Oh,
'Di ba ikaw, you're a hardcore Game of Thrones fan yata eh.
well, I became a hardcore during season 3 eh.
Yeah,
tandaan ko
season 3 was the
nag-over-
best.
Well, yeah.
Red
I agree
Wedding,
with that.
tama ba? Yun, di ba?
Yeah.
Season
Exactly.
three.
I stopped watching after that. Parang, oh my God.
Likewise. Kasi namatay
Ano ba to?
Namatay si actual King
Spoiler
of the North,
alert.
diba?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Wow.
Just
I feel like we shouldn't spoil anything if the show is done na. Di ba? Parang,
Yeah.
It's done
Especially
like
if you're
last year.
for a famous show like that. Yeah, last year lang natapos yung
Actually,
Game of
this is an interesting topic kasi medyo contradicting yung opinions namin ni Omar about it. Pero
Thrones. Sa Game
how
of
would
Thrones.
yeah. Have you guys watched the
Yung ending?
The ending?
Oh, okay. This is a nice
Yeah.
topic.
How did it make you feel? Though?
No.
Kasi si Omar na bad trip siya eh. 'Di ba?
It's the weakest season, but it's alright with me.
Bakit?
Disappointing siya para sa akin eh.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Yeah, parang
It wasn't
dapat,
great. Wasn't great.
it wasn't great at all.
What
But
happened
it
ba?
wasn't bad for me. I'm kind of neutral to it.
I mean, I didn't watch after season 3 na. Pero I mean, what happened with like,
Oh,
masabi nyo
dude,
from
Matt.
the development of the of the
Dude,
whole
Matt,
show?
if you haven't seen it after season 3, then you should watch the finale na lang. Don't watch the other episodes. Kasi that's what I did.
Hindi.
That's what I did.
No.
Wag na. I mean,
Eh.
the fact na sinasabi ng mga tao yung ganito, parang I'm not really interested anymore. I mean, kasi kung na-disappoint nga mismo yung mga hardcore fans, edi ba't pa ako manonood?
Yeah.
Sa akin kasi,
Sinong hipster
Hindi,
dyan?
It's still a nice story naman. Pati yung ending
it's
okay
a nice
naman.
story.
Yeah. it makes
Cinematography,
sense.
sobrang ganda yung ginawa nila.
You would appreciate the other things na lang eh, ganun.
Yeah.
No, like for me, I appreciated yung cinematography niya, sobra. That's what I like about it. Pero story-wise, na
Yeah, it was
disappointing.
kinda, medyo support siya, Matt. Yun yung,
Well, yeah.
Really.
Compare mo
Sabagay,
sa other seasons.
Yung mga shows kasi na minsan yung sobrang ganda na ganyan. Parang sometimes at one point, you have to end it na kapag, di ba? Feeling ko what HBO did, they just really wanted to make more money with it, I guess.
Well, as I
think
I
so.
understand it, I remember George R.R. Martin being... was it George R.R. Martin?
Yes.
Yeah, yung
Oh, it
author.
was.
I remember na parang he wasn't satisfied kasi parang the producers of the show were asking for more episodes. Pero there's not gonna be more episodes because
Diba?
that's all the book I can give. So
Yun nga eh.
in
So,
the end,
diba? So,
he wrote more
hindi-
books for the show.
Piniga nila ng piniga.
Yeah. Hanggang sa
Yung weird part pa
naubos
doon,
na
Matt,
yung
hindi
sebo.
pa kasi tapos yung book. Hindi pa
Oo.
tapos yung book.
Di pa daw
So parang half of the time I feel like they were making shit up, pero parang alam mo yun, with the
So,
permission of
inuunahan nila si
George
George
R.
R. R.
Martin.
Martin.
Nauna
Kumbaga.
yung series kaysa sa libro.
Ah,
Oo.
okay.
Basically.
Nasa ilang seasons, 'di ba season 8?
Hmm.
Oh.
Natapos na yung book nung season 6 pa lang or season 5.
Okay, so after season 6,
They
ano
just
na yun?
nawing
Writers na
lang
nag-show
nila.
yun. Hindi na si George yung ano nun.
Oo,
Yung-
with
okay.
guidance na lang.
Guidance na lang.
Kaya-
O, diba? Doon pa lang parang pwede makikita mo na talagang will go downhill na.
Actually, iba parang pataas siya, Matt. Tapos bigla na, ganun.
Yeah, because I read ano naman,
Oo.
what people say about the show. And parang yun nga, they said that the last season was disappointing.
Yeah, pero sabihin natin even season 7 was disappointing much naman eh. But not of course as disappointing as 8.
Pero Matt, since you stopped at season 3, if you watch the finale, kumbaga sobrang solid niya kasi everyone has a good ending, I suppose, in a way.
Hindi ko
Like-
siya maiintindihan kung pinanood ko, di ba? Parang-
Well,
Hindi, maintindihan mo ba?
hindi ko rin naman
Maintindihan.
pinanood yung I stopped season 4.
Ah.
Like, everyone had a
Sige,
good ending.
try
Like,
ko.
Cersei and Daenerys and everyone had a good ending for me.
Parang alam ko, 'di ba, ang mga nandun na lang, sila Daenerys, sila Jon Snow.
And parang
Arya.
there were new characters yata na hindi ko
May mga
nakalala.
new character.
Pero for me, it was a fitting ending. Sorry, Omar.
Well, for you not naman.
Yan yun
Kasi for you it's just a story that you just watch on that moment. Eh okay lang.
I suppose in a sense, you could actually say na in that moment, okay, I would have enjoyed it. Pero at another moment, I would not have.
You wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to George R. R. Martin kung nakikinig ka.
Pero kumusta naman yung Kumusta naman yung Like, would you care to venture out into that topic na the coffee business, I suppose, MA+D.
What about us?
L-
Well,
Like,
the coffee industry is it's a big rabbit hole, man.
yeah, I know.
So it's like, what exactly would you like to know about this?
No, I mean, like, in terms of your life back then, your life now, it seems like a 360-degree change, diba? Na parang you went from being a game developer, this parang a guy from Egypt, and then somehow you're making coffee.
Well, if I'm gonna go with the background naman, let's say in Egypt has a very strong coffee culture. Alam mo yung, kung sa Philippines dito, every corner may sabihin natin may bar, di ba? Pero wala naman talagang bar every corner, thankfully.
Sayang.
Sayang. Pero sabihin natin, Egypt has like that, like every 2-3 blocks we have a cafe. Okay, and it's not even called a cafe, medyo social naman yung word na cafe for that. It's more of like a coffee shop. Or like Sajja Minhaj, or what's his name? Hassan Minhaj. Sajja Minhaj. This Hassan Minhaj,
Yung
you remember the
yung sa
guy, the
Netflix?
comedian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oo.
Okay.
Stand-up comedian.
He has an episode that he is a stand-up comedian. He has an episode that he's even making a joke that he has a hookah place. That- It's a place for shisha,
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be told.
That's how coffee is supposed to be
And
taken.
the culture is, the culture is, it's always open naman, like all day, all night. It's around maybe 1 or 2 a.m. it closes, or sometimes 3. But it becomes full starting 5 p.m.
And then,
People after work, they go back home, have a nap for like 1 or 2 hours, and then they go down and stay in the coffee shop or that coffee shop place. So, and they stay there from 5 until who knows what time. You guys drink coffee, have their shisha or hookah, what it's called, and stay with the community. So it's almost the same like the idea of a bar here. But instead of beer or alcohol, you have coffee.
And shisha.
So, sorry?
And shisha. Hookah.
Yeah, and shisha.
So,
So,
parang combo yung
that's how
kape,
it
no?
is
Pati
there.
shisha.
When I came here, opo, sobrang combo yan. Sarap ng feeling nun.
Sarap naman.
Pero kung hindi ka sanay, wala, gising ka hanggang bukas na umaga. Yung ganun feeling.
Grabe, kasi coffee, di ba? Like, you drink it like
Pero,
continuously. Gising ka talaga, no?
yeah. Kaya sa amin din naman, sabihin natin kahit sa bahay, when you usually have a guest that comes, you actually have two choices. Either make them coffee or tea.
Yeah.
No, that is always the drink. It's not even water. Without us, like, gusto mong tubig.
Mafi
Hindi.
moya sa dik.
What do you drink? Coffee or tea?
Oh, hindi tubig, you know?
Yeah. Hindi tubig.
Mafi
Like,
moya.
hi, hello. Like, coffee or tea. So, here naman, when it comes to the coffee, let's say the coffee vibe here, it's more about the 3-in-1, right?
Actually.
And the cafe industry itself, I would say, or the coffee industry here, it's not that famous before. Okay, so I started to learn from my friends, of course, and they told me more and more about it. It's like how the Philippines is actually producing coffee. I didn't even know that back then. How 3-in-1 is not actually real coffee. I didn't even know that.
It's not
I
coffee.
actually believe it was. Yeah, I actually believed it was actually coffee
Asukal
with
lang
milk
siya.
and sugar. You know. Oh. So learning those stuff was actually very interesting. And then, of course, trying to understand how come I'm getting acidic from some coffee while some coffee does not make me acidic. You know, that was intriguing. And yeah, of course, learning about that. And it came an opportunity for me to open a cafe in Siargao. So it felt really like a very nice idea back then. So I decided to go with it. Why not, you know? Manila was starting to become a bit hard and toxic on life.
Yeah.
So, you know, island life would be a change in pace. And that's when I started to actually go deep and deep into coffee. So I learned how to brew it. I understand that there's different things from the second wave, third wave, you know. We have the first wave, which is basically commodity coffee, which is being done since the 60s, where Nestle and other brands all over the world made it available for everyone in their house. Okay, Nescafe. And then you have the second wave, which is basically cafes, you know, like Starbucks,
Coffee
Tim
for
Hortons, and all
the
of
coffee
that.
for the masses, you can say.
Yung mga favorite
Yeah,
coffee places ni Jack.
They
Yeah.
they used to be. They used to be.
Okay, so yeah, the coffee bean, all of that now are different types of coffee wave. And it came in the Philippines in the 1990s, late 1990s.
Coffee wave.
So it changed. Yeah, it's the second coffee wave, known as the second wave. So yeah, so that changed how the Filipinos now consume coffee. And back in 2014, thanks to Filipinos who used to live in Singapore and other countries, where they learned about a different type of brewing coffee and learning more about coffee, which is the third wave, which is going back to the roots of coffee, which is understanding where your coffee came from, how it's made, how it's brewed, how fresh it is, you know, like freshly roasted and all of that. And that's when you start to know that coffee is not actually, you know, it's not actually bitter. You don't really need to put sugar or creamer.
Well, yeah, it
Yeah.
is only we who makes it bitter.
Yeah, you know, bitter people.
No, I mean in the sense that it depends on the brewer, I guess.
Well, they do say that whatever the brewer is feeling, it reflects on his cup.
Yeah, I do say that.
Ooh,
I do
that's
say
nice.
that. I would say that.
So yeah, so of course, learning all of that, it really became interesting. Like for this example, that back In the 1800s, coffee was the fourth producer of, and the Philippines were the fourth producer of coffee. Now we're 100, made 14,
15.
190.
115.
Mas mababa pa na kayo eh. So there's a very strong chance for the Philippines to go back into making coffee.
I hope so.
Okay. And then you start to learn that maraming din masarap na kape dito. Like Benguet in itself can give you at least 6 or 7 varieties of Arabica coffee, and they won't taste the same. They all taste different.
Really, Arabica coffee.
Yes.
Homegrown Arabica
Okay.
or like
No, because like
ano,
Arabica is the most common type of bean. Diba?
Well, in the Philippines, actually, the most common is the Robusta.
Robusta.
Yeah.
Kasi ako,
But-
I got to the point na every Arabica I've tasted is the same. You know, like 7-Eleven,
It's
Starbucks. They all boast
That's not-
quality Arabica, but they all taste the same, man.
Well, it's not. It's quality commodity, maybe, But Arabica in itself, lots have different tastes. The whole world somehow decided that for them, Arabica is the specialty coffee. Okay, but it's not really like you have Robusta specialty. But the people still prefer Arabica because that's what used to it. It's fruity. It's a bit of chocolate, sweet, sour. All of that together.
You know, actually, from what I remember in history, diba, parang back when we were under American occupation, we were one of the highest producers of coffee. We had
Yes, we were.
Robusta and Liberica, and then after we declared independence, of course, the Americans left. They took everything, and along with them, the production of coffee.
No, they did not take the production of coffee. The coffee production in the Philippines went down was because of 3 things. Okay, the coffee rust, which was a disease that attacked all the plants. Okay, after that were pests, bugs, and infestations, and the third were the world wars. You had World War I and World War II. Okay, so with that, the lots of people or lots of farms, they couldn't go back into farming coffee again. Especially that after the World War II, the whole world went into the idea of commodity coffee. So coffee became cheap. It couldn't go with the times.
Coffee became
And right
derivative, in fact.
Yeah.
3 in
Like,
1.
until now,
3 in 1.
coffee takes a very long time to grow and to harvest. Okay. Initially, you have to wait 3 to 5 years for your first harvest of coffee, and then you start to harvest them yearly after that. Okay. So, if you are a farmer, you have to wait 3 to 5 years just to have your first harvest, and then you will have people who's gonna buy it as low as 10 pesos per kilo. Why would I wait for that? So why don't I just go and make rice, probably, or anything that is faster, anything that I can plant within 3 to 6 months, and will give you more money than just planting coffee.
So it all goes back to the
Aba.
farmers.
Yeah, it's a farmer. Of course, you have to help the farmers, but if it's been like that since the 60s, 70s, and until now, you're still buying it with that price.
It's
The farmers
not a
will
good
not
thing
go
for the farmers.
Yeah. Negosyo pa rin naman yung farming eh. Kailangan talaga sila
They
kumita
have to
para
make a
makaroon
living.
tayo. Yeah. So that is lots of things you learn about the Philippine coffee. There are lots of people still, even with all of that, they're still planting coffee because they love the plant of coffee. That's their passion
We do.
in coffee. Yeah, thankfully we have people in the Philippines now who are really interested to support local and to understand more and more about coffee. Okay, we have, and here where comes, for example, MA+D, stands for Make, Advocate, and Delight. Okay, where it helps local farms, it orders from them. It's an NGO that supports all farmers in the Philippines. It's connected now with around 29 farms all over the country.
29 farms.
Yeah, and growing. Okay. So it's nice. It's really amazing to be in this industry. It's mind blowing, you know. And as a game developer, if I had the opportunity to make a game to talk about
Coffee.
the coffee in the country, it would really be nice.
I would play that
What
game.
what
But,
what drives you though to speak about coffee? Come and speak about coffee.
well, because I like the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I like what I'm drinking and what I'm making. So if you like something, you'd love to share, right?
Yeah.
And you would love to always have it. So,
I could agree. I do agree.
di ba? So you would be sad if suddenly you're drinking this type of coffee and then the farms decide not to grow it anymore. Depressed ka, di ba? Like, sayang, sarap naman nitong kape.
Exactly.
Di ba? Di ba? The same like, you know, uh, like in Taft. There was this place that had amazing katsu.
Mm.
And then it closed down. And you're like, sayang, suki pa naman ako doon, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
Ano yun? Naabutan ba namin yun?
Crazy
I,
Katsu.
it actually, parang it opened for like 3 to 5 months lang, tapos nalugi.
Oh,
Ah.
ganun lang kabili.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
take things for granted, man.
Super.
Yeah, they only miss it when
It's gone.
it's gone.
For example, katabi ng SDA, yung Mineski Chicken. Sarap pa naman yung Mineski doon. Pero nang umalis, nalungkot tayo lahat, di ba?
Minesca chicken.
Hindi ko
Oo.
ata naabot yun, Omar.
Well, hindi kasi ako gamer, so I don't know.
Mineski chicken?
Yeah, well,
Yung may chicken din sila.
yeah.
Wow, nice.
Wait lang,
Like,
wala na ba?
Ay, hindi ko alam kasi hindi mo pumapasok sa
Hindi kami pumapasok.
Pero alam ko may pagkain sila. Oo nga,
Oo,
pero
akala
hindi
ko
ko alam
pancit canton lang
na
tapos itlog.
akala
Yeah,
ko
they
mga
do
ganun
have-
lang, mga instant food lang, ganun.
they do have pancit canton nga.
Ah.
Yeah, they have pansin katong. Pero sarap din yung chicken nila dati.
Mm-hmm.
Though, one time nung kumakain ako ng chicken niyan, may stapler.
Stapler. Stapler.
Okay. You heard it
Yeah.
here first.
Baka dahil doon, nag-close pa.
Oh, baka dahil
Baka dahil na-close na.
stapler yung secret ingredient, man. Oo.
But I suppose, how would you sum it up in a sense that your life so far in the Philippines and going through game development and then going through, in this enterprise of coffee and then compared to your life right now?
Well, I'd say my life is a journey, and everything that's been happening was a really interesting ride, good or bad. That's what makes life here. So, as much as possible, do the best you can out of it, get what you can, and enjoy it. Huwag mo masyado damdamin yung mga nangyayari. Basta, sa dulo ng buhay mo, you'll just look back and laugh at it, Sabihin natin, ginawa ko pala yan.
Nagsuka
Yeah.
pala ako
Pero-
sa MRT.
Parang suka pala ako
Pala
sa
ako sa
MRT.
LRT, no? Sa may guild.
Well, thank you for saying that. I feel like I needed to hear that.
Basta, no regrets. Just, if you think of something,
No
do it.
regrets, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
No regret.
At least if you're gonna don't regret not doing it. Regret not making it better.
Mm-hmm. Actually, well, as I
Diba?
do suppose that are there any advices you would like to give to younger people? I guess, kumbaga, I would like to go to CSB or do these things that all these people before me have done. Do you have anything to say to them as a form of advice or something?
Oo naman. Like, for the next students who are coming to TAF, enjoy it to the max. Huwag niyo damdamin na bumaksak kayo sa first year. Tuloy niyo lang.
Tuloy nyo lang.
Okay lang magka-R or 0.0. Okay, grades are just numbers.
Yeah.
Diba? And, yeah. Buhayin niyo naman yung happy tea.
Mm.
Mm.
Sana nga eh.
Well,
Oo, mabuhay uli para I mean, I feel bad for for the new kids now and stuff.
bakit naman? Bakit
Bawal.
naman?
Wala lang. I mean, they won't get to experience the
The joy that we have experienced.
I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily call it joy, pero the experience na lang, ganun.
Jimi Hendrix ba yan? The experience.
Yeah, well, for me, I would say this is the last time for the Lasallians and the Benildians to come. Just enjoy life and remember that religio, mores, at saka kultura. That's it.
Choose life.
Yeah.
Diba?
Alright, so that wraps this up.
You know, actually, thank you, Omar. I feel like we yet have a lot to talk about na parang kulang, but sadly, that's all the time we have for tonight.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This was a really interesting experience.
It's been
Thank you.
it's been really meditative. It's been really meditative. But I hope na you eventually come back and we can talk about this further and in more in depth.
Well, it would be nice to be back here one day. And too nice to have you guys again. It was fun. Really fun.
Yeah.
Hope you guys had fun too.
Yeah, we did, man.
We always do. That's this bane in life, I guess. Anyway, thank you very much for Mr. Omar Tawfek.
Yes,
Uh, f-
sir.
from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong. Tawfek in Arabic means go in peace, right?
No, Taufik is not good with peace. With Tawfiq, it means in God's blessing or good luck.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah.
That's a nice last minute sentiment. So anyway, thank you everyone for having us, for listening and tuning to us. And Taufik to all of you, good luck. And
Good luck to us all.
yeah, you have been all very human. And I have been your host, M. Jack Pacheco. Thank you to my co-hosts, Enzo Angeles and Matthew Palayo. And that's a wrap.